Of course, that being said, of course, the other name that comes in mind is of Pervi, who is the next, who has been, of course, supporting these attacks from long before. But if you look at the Iranian regime and at the hierarchy, how do you assess would be the next step? Would we, because we, of course, have not heard any second name after Khamenei, but there, of course, we'll have to wait and see who the next leader is. But does it mean that when the Supreme Leader Khamenei is out, and so that was the goal and it's done, or do we see an uprising from the Iranian regime as well?
Well, there are two lessons that I take from history that worry me. One is that rarely do regimes topple when they confront airstrikes alone. That is to say, usually you have to couple airstrikes with some kind of force on the ground. And right now, there is no force on the ground. Donald Trump is not going to send 100,000 American troops into Iran. Israel is not going to send 100,000 troops into Iran. And so the question is, who's going to be the fighter? Who's the ally? Who is going to use weapons or perhaps civil society to take advantage of the fact that the supreme leader is gone? And the second thing that worries me is that history suggests that regimes collapse when the state starts to defect from the leadership, when you see the security services, when you see ministries start to peel away from the state. We have not yet seen indications that the Revolutionary Guard, that the ministries are really ready to say, we're done. And it's important to keep in mind that this was a regime that survived on patronage. Many members of the government, many members of the security apparatus, many members of the intelligence agencies, they were paid by this regime. They prospered on this regime. The question is, are they now going to say it's over? Or are they going to defend this regime that in some ways is their own source of livelihood and their own source of protection? So I think one thing to keep an eye on in the coming days and the coming hours, will these different parts of Iranian society, and it was deep, we're talking millions strong, will they begin to say, this is the end and it is time to defect and to get behind civil society that has had enough of the Islamic Republic?